Welcome to this series of short videos showing you how to use the features of ReadyTalk Flex. This video shows you how to customize the talk path or channel buttons in the Workgroup window using the Design feature. Here is a ReadyTalk Flex console. You will find the Design button down on the control panel. Clicking this button opens a new window where you can customize the talk path or channel buttons. Each talk path that is enabled will have a button displayed, and you can start playing around with how a particular talk path button is going to be displayed on the main console window. Let me choose my first radio talk path button. I click on the button and that will display a Properties window. By the way, you can resize this window by clicking and dragging the border, like so. I can now modify the properties of the talk path button. The display information properties starts off with the toggle bar. The toggle bar is a set of icons that can be displayed to the right of each talk path button that allow a quick selection of talk path features such as channel change and individual call. If you want the toggle bar, then check the box. If not, uncheck the box. So I leave mine checked. The Apply to All buttons is checked when you want to make your TalkPath button changes apply to all TalkPath buttons. I'll demonstrate this a little further on in the video. The Auto Scale text box automatically scales the text on the TalkPath button according to the height of the button. Normally this is left in the checked state. Next are the button display fields. There are 6 lines of text available for each TalkPath button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Note that the third line, channel, is not displayed. You can turn off lines of text using the little check boxes on the side. As I uncheck the box, you'll notice the change in the button, like so. If I want to make the changes to all buttons, I can configure what I want, like so, and then check the Apply to All buttons. As you can see, I've cleared all the checkboxes, so now we have no lines of text on our buttons. Now I realize this is a ridiculous case. It's just an example of what you can do. To get everything back, I will have to uncheck the Apply to All buttons, check these boxes once again, and then check the Apply to All buttons. And there, I've got all my lines of text back again. You may be wondering what the Activity Chart option is. You may have noticed the red and green trails at the bottom of the TalkPath button with normal operation. Well, that's the Activity Chart. So if you don't like it, here's where you can disable it. I'll just put my Apply to All buttons back to the false, ready for the next time you want to use it. Each of these lines can be adjusted for text color and text font using the menus for each of the lines over on the side here. Down the bottom is where you can change the button state colors. By default, a selected or foreground channel is yellow, a monitored or background channel is blue, and grey is off. Busy is green and PTT is red. Now all these colors can be changed by selecting the relevant property and choosing the color from the palette. For example, on the monitor button, I click on this little arrow here and there's a palette. However, I'm going to keep mine at blue because that's what I'm used to. There is a special section for the phone button colors. Next down is the background display option. You can specify an image to be displayed as the background of the workgroup area. Enable the option and then browse to the image file. Just click on the little dots over here. That opens a Windows Explorer window where you can browse to your image file and select it by clicking on Open. I'm going to click on Cancel because I'm not going to add an image file at this point. And I'll just uncheck my box so that it goes back to false. Finally, we have the Auto Resize feature. Now, If neither checkbox is ticked, then the TalkPath buttons will remain the same size as you change the size of the workgroup window. Check one of the options to make the buttons fit the available space. I will exit the design window and show you what I mean when nothing is selected. Like so. Notice how they've stayed in the same position and also the same size. And if I lift this up, then we get these scroll bars at the side. So they're still at the same size and in the same position. So I'll just pull this down a little bit, get the buttons back, move this window back over again. Right, go back into the design window. Now I'm going to go auto scale buttons. Save that. Now if I move the window, notice how the buttons change their size to fit the scale of the window. And if I lift this one up, it adjusts them again. Okay, I'll bring that back down again, and I will now go back into the design window and check the other button. Notice the other one automatically now goes back to false. Save it. Now this time when I move it, notice the buttons change their shape now as well to fit the available size. And if I move this up, there we go. So there are the three options you can have. I'll just move that back into my design window. Finally, let's say I want to change all my buttons to have the first two lines of text only and keep the button size the same if the workgroup window size changes. Oh, let's have a pink background and the selected or foreground state to be light pink. I uncheck the rows of text that I don't want, so false, 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 false. Apply to all buttons. Go down here and then change the color of the selected button. Go to my palette, choose pink, and finally choose my background image. I've got pink.png here, and I click on save, and there are the results. I've got my quite dark pink background, and I've got a pink selected, still blue for monitored, still grey for off, and lovely pink for selected. And I can also move my window, and I find that the buttons have actually changed size. I have made a mistake somewhere. So I'll go back into my design window, and what have I done? Auto fit buttons is still checked. I should have unchecked that one. Save it. And now, of course, my buttons take the same shape as they were when I left that window. So now we're going to get these scroll bars. So the buttons remain the same shape. So I made a little bit of a mistake there. But I think you get the idea anyway. So maybe I'll just bring that one down a little bit more just to see all the buttons. So a bit more adjustment is required to get a nice layout. And also don't forget, once you do have a layout, you can always go to setup and go into theme options and set your current screen layout as default. That will save the layout of the screen as you see it. Then you can always bring it back by going reset screen layout to default. Okay, thank you for watching.